What you are about to hear is one of the most fascinating inside accounts to emerge from this entire El-Rufai detention saga, because for the first time, we now have the actual words that Nasir Ahmad El-Rufai wrote with his own hand while sitting in ICPC custody. Not what his spokesperson said, not what his lawyers argued in court, not what his wife or son posted on social media. His own words, his own handwriting, his own statements, submitted to ICPC investigators on February 19 and February 20, 2026, in the presence of his lawyer, are now fully public after being filed by the ICPC as part of their counter-affidavit in the fundamental human rights suit before the FCT High Court. And what he wrote tells you everything about the man, his strategy, and his absolute refusal to be broken by the most intense institutional pressure any Nigerian opposition figure has faced in years. Here is the first statement, dated February 19, 2026. El-Rufai sat down, took a pen, and wrote his full name. He stated that he had read the cautionary statement given to him and that he understood its meaning and its implications. He then said that he was voluntarily making a statement in the presence of his lawyer. He gave his full name, Nasir Ahmad El-Rufai, and then he stopped. He wrote that he would make no further statement and respond to no further question. He said he believed that after nearly 2 years of intensive investigation, the ICPC should present its findings to a judicial tribunal and not to him. He said he would respond to any allegations in a court of law only. And then came the line that has since been shared and discussed across every corner of Nigerian social media. He wrote plainly that he did not believe these investigations amount to law enforcement. He called it political persecution. He said only a judge can decide upon that. He signed it and he was done. Now, picture the atmosphere in that room. ICPC investigators sitting across from a former 2-term governor of Kaduna State, a man who was once considered one of the most powerful technocrats in the Nigerian government, who served as Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, who had documents and questions about 1.4 million euros, about 2 billion naira in suspicious revenue account payments, about 428 million naira in transfers to undisclosed accounts, and this man looked at every single document and question and wrote 4 sentences. That was his entire response. 4 sentences, a name, and a signature. Then, the investigators brought out more documents the next day, February 20. They sat him down again, they pushed more papers across the table, and El-Rufai picked up his pen and wrote a second statement. He said, in furtherance of his statement dated February 19, and in the presence of his lawyer, he wished to state further that upon presentation of further documents and questions, he reserved his constitutional right to silence on all the documents and further questions. He said he would respond to those documents and questions only when presented in a court of law, and that was it. Day 2, another mountain of documents, another wall of silence. Now, here is what is truly remarkable about those 2 statements. Buried inside the first one is a line that goes far beyond a legal defense strategy. El-Rufai wrote directly to the ICPC investigators. He said he is a leading member of the African Democratic Congress, which he described as the only surviving opposition party in Nigeria. And he said plainly, that is the real reason you are investigating me. He wrote it inside an official statement to an anti-corruption commission. He wrote it down for the record. He was not on television, he was not speaking to journalists, he was in a detention facility, under caution, speaking to the agency holding him, and he used that moment to formally and officially accuse the Nigerian government of political persecution in writing. If the El-Rufai story is one you want to follow right to the very end, including what happens in court tomorrow, March 5th, when his 14-day remand order expires and formal charges are expected, please subscribe to this channel right now and hit that notification bell, because tomorrow could be one of the most significant days in this entire saga. The ICPC told the court that the remand order expires on March 5th, tomorrow, and that they intend to file formal charges before that date. Whether those charges will be filed in time, whether the court will grant an extension, and whether El-Rufai will walk free or remain behind bars after tomorrow are the 3 questions every Nigerian watching this case is holding their breath to answer. His legal team, led by Senior Advocate of Nigeria Oluwole Yamu, is also pushing the court to declare his detention unconstitutional and award him 1 billion naira in damages. The next hearing in that suit is March 11th. Here is your question for today. Reading El-Rufai's two statements from ICPC custody, does his strategy of total silence and constitutional refusal to answer questions strengthen or weaken his position in your eyes? Do you believe he is exercising legitimate rights, or do you think a man with nothing to hide would simply have answered the questions? Drop your honest thoughts in the comments below. Share this video with every Nigerian who is following this case. Like it if this breakdown gave you the complete picture of what El-Rufai actually said behind closed doors. And stay subscribed, because March 5th is tomorrow, and whatever happens in that courtroom will define the next chapter of the most consequential legal battle in Nigerian opposition politics.